you don't hate the game. I don't hate the game.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the rules of the game. And I think a lot of people get mad at the game because the game was designed for the wealthy to play, right? Well, Jay-Z says something, I might not come from a wealthy family, but one can come from me.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Elizabeth Gore. Welcome to The Big Idea from Yahoo Finance, the show that navigates the world of small business and entrepreneurship. As the co-founder of the small business funding platform, Hello Alice, it has always been my mission to help entrepreneurs have the tools they need to succeed. So let's cowboy up. Today's big idea question is, how can I use a Wall Street mindset for my business? Our industry focus will be investing. Joining me today to talk about this is Leon Howard, better known as the Wall Street Trapper. Leon went from the streets of New Orleans to teaching millions how to invest and build real wealth. After learning about the stock market in prison, Leon made it his mission to help others escape the financial trap and take ownership of their financial future. There is no one better to answer our big idea question of the day. How can I use a Wall Street mindset for my business? Welcome to The Big Idea.
Pleasure to be here.
I'm so happy. Now, we met through TD Jakes,
Yes.
who we both love.
Love, adore.
And
yes.
I heard you speak, and I think I came running backstage
Yes.
and jumped on you.
Yes.
That's correct. I was
Yes.
like, where have you been in the world? We need you. Oh, my Lord. So tell me, why Wall Street,
Yeah.
especially for a small business owner?
Yeah. Because there's so much untapped potential there, right? And I think that a lot of people, they struggle for the idea of how to get finances, right? And the idea of Wall Street just never crosses their brain because there's this financial trauma attached to it. And for me, a trauma is always triggering if you never confront the trauma and why it's there, right? And that comes in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And so for me, I always just felt like, because I'm a product of the streets, I'm a product of New Orleans, like I didn't fear much of nothing but God. And so I was just like, all right, I don't really think they smarter than me. I just think they have access to more information than me.
You're one of the smartest people I've ever met. So I know that for a fact. For a fact.
Thank you. And so I just told myself, if I can get access to the information, then I can probably do the same thing that they do. And so, that's one of the beautiful things about the internet, man. It gives me access to the information. And of course, I've been to prison before, so prison made me an avid reader. And so I was able to combine what I learned in the streets and use different analogies and metaphors to make Wall Street make sense to me. And then it's like, this is whole world of untapped money. I just bought a building, $5.5 million, put $872,000 down. The whole down payment came from Wall Street.
Speaking of access, while you were in prison,
Yes.
you had an incredible mentor.
Yes. So he wasn't really a mentor. I think that God puts people in your life for a reason. He was a seed. He planted a seed for me. He was facing a charge. He was going to federal prison. And I think he was just grotesque by what he saw. And it was a bunch of very young Black men that had no regard for life. We was throwing our life away. And so I wound up going on a cell with him, and he said, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but man, y'all playing the wrong game. And it's something about that immediately I kind of was offended by, because I'm like, you ain't here with me. So you playing the same game I'm playing. And then he just told me a couple of things, without getting all into it. He was just like, wealthy people learn how to stop trading time for money. They learn how to make their money work for them. They learn how to give value to people. And the three tools that they use to build wealth is the stock market, one, because it's the easiest way to build wealth. They create businesses, two, because you can always sell something in America because they design us to be consumers. And you buy real estate to not pay taxes. And so because he told me stocks first, that was the first thing I went with. Because he showed me on his paperwork that he was in there for embezzlement, $2.8 million, where he paid $800,000 restitution, and he was able to keep $2 million. And that just blew my mind.
Right.
it blew my mind because one, I had never seen that type of money before, but to see it on paper was like magnificent. So I spent the rest of my years, my other 8 years and 7 months learning about financial literacy. The first book I ever read was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is not really an investment book. It's more of a mindset, around money
right?
book.
Yeah.
So here I am now, a seed that has blossomed and trying to just do my best to plant more seeds because I know one piece of information, one idea to make you look at the world and money different can change your life.
So break down for me, small business owner, why they think about investing versus just saving.
Why do you think about investing? I think that investing truly is the only way to grow. You cannot grow without it. Saving keeps you stagnant. Yeah, I always think about saving as this, right? Like if you save money for worst case scenarios, we live in a life where worst case scenarios often happen.
Right.
And then you take the money from the savings and then you have to replenish that money. And that can be depleting. Whereas when you invest, you see the money actually growing. And so I think small business owners are, first of all, we are all lunatics.
We really are.
Yeah, we're
insane.
Yeah,
aren't we?
You're insane. You have an idea that you jump out of the airplane, which I've done 3 times.
With a blindfold on.
And then you say, I'll just build it as I go. I'll figure out how to get this parachute out of here one way or another. But you do tell yourself this. You tell yourself 2 things. I'm going to jump out the plane and this parachute will work. And that's all you really need. And I think as a business owner, I just think that jumping out of the plane is what gets you up every morning. Knowing that it will work is what gives you the satisfaction to go through what you go through while falling.
I mean, you're Leon Howard, but you're Wall Street Trapper.
Come on.
I mean, tell me about, I remember you saying you had flyers that you'd put up. You'd go to courtside all the way to AA to everywhere and just start talking about this. Tell us about that, because I feel like there are folks who you're a visionary, but they're thinking, oh, I don't know, I have so much to give and so much to say, but where do I start?
Yeah. So it's 2015, I had just got found not guilty. Mind you, I had just come from prison. In 2007, so I had been home about 7 years. I had got in some trouble again because I was programmed a certain way, right? Even though I had the investment knowledge and the investment idea, I still was just like, the residue of what I had came from, it was hard for me to break it, right? And so some kind of way I was figuring out that maybe I could do this and that, right? And so God just don't work that way. Like when he gives you a calling, like that calling is on you. And you'll do it either the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is you submit. The hard way is you fight it. And then he had to teach you through experiences. And so I had this idea about, in prison about the stock market and how in being real, it was I can help other dudes from the street get out of the street. And so what I would do is I would print flyers out and say, it was kind of pretty flyers too. It would have my logo on it and it would say, I could teach you how to pay your bills with the stock market, and I could teach you how to not go to layaway no more with the stock market. And I will go to barbershops, and I will go to hair salons, and I will go to AA meetings, and I will go to church. In New Orleans, there are second lines and parades, and I would put a flyer on people's cars with my Instagram name.
I could see you naming a crew, Wall Street Trapper.
Oh, for sure.
For those who don't know New Orleans, that is a parade group. Yeah.
So I would go. I had a couple of my homies with me, and we would put the T-shirts on, and we would walk around and we would, pass out the flyers, and it was down with it. And that was the beginning stages of just trying to raise awareness. And it's putting a new message in a hood that didn't even know that the message existed. And you got to be mindful of when you say the term financial literacy, because immediately the trauma makes the person who you send financial literacy to, it immediately makes them say, well, I'm financially illiterate. And the word illiterate is what sticks out before the financial part. The word illiterate, it automatically makes them think of themselves less than. And it's a hard concept to really grapple. And so we started saying like wealth access, and we started saying like, we were saying something like financial freedom and, financial liberation and, stuff like that to make people change. Because you got to speak in a language that empowers people, and you got to wrap the medicine up in candy. And that's what I felt like I was doing in the beginning.
Hold that thought, y'all. We'll be right back here on The Big Idea. Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to The Big Idea. I'm Elizabeth Gore here with Leon Howard. You hit a huge milestone.
Yes.
Tell me.
Big visionary. So we purchased a $5.5 million building. It is 50,000 square feet. It's 4.2 acres of land. It's in Marietta, Georgia, and it's called a Freedom Center. And the goal behind that is to have a place where financial literacy is the norm. And we teach entrepreneurship, we teach investing, we teach real estate. Me and my team was just talking about a financial compatibility weekend where people who are married or people who are dating can come together and see, are we financially compatible? Because what happens is when you get in a relationship with somebody or you marry somebody, one of the things let's first realize that the number one cause for divorce is finances. So two people get together and they love each other and they have all these things, but they forget to realize that, wait, we grew up in two separate families that looked at money two different ways.
No, wait, they don't write about finance and romance books?
Not at all. It's all flowers and horses.
Right?
Right. And so, we want to do all that. And so this weekend, after we've been in the building for a year now, going through bad roofing experiences. Mind you, I have no idea about commercial real estate. This is my first building.
That was another plane you jumped out of.
It's another plane. Mm-hmm. I have a saying that just because you don't know how to do something, it does not mean you don't do it. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I was like, I'll just figure this out along the way as well. And so been in there for a year. Matter of fact, this made a year. And we went in there. Wow. I didn't even think about that.
How about that?
But that event, the dead event, made a year, and we had about 500 people in from our communities, and we called it the Trapper Family Reunion. And we taught them from 10:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night. But we did so many different things, so many different events, and it was huge. It was amazing for myself and the team, and to talk about where we're going next. And so my goal is to have one of those freedom centers in about 10 states, 10 different cities, where everyone can have, they always have this thing about having access to capital. And I always say the real capital is the information. And so I want to put it in 10 underserved, wealth-deprived communities where we give them access to financial literacy, and they can start seeing themselves and money different.
Amazing.
So that's the goal.
So from the flyer to this building.
To the building.
I mean, what do you think your next plane to jump out of is? I'm curious.
So I have a vision to create a fund for people who make $100,000 or less a year.
Awesome.
Because when you go to Wall Street, even when you look on CNBC, you see the commercials, do you have $500,000? Like, no, we ain't got $500,000.
Like, screw you.
What are you talking about? I don't got that.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, you don't hate the game. I don't hate the game. Mm-hmm. I understand the rules of the game. And I think a lot of people get mad at the game because the game was designed for the wealthy to play, right? Well, Jay-Z says something, I might not come from a wealthy family, but one can come from me. And so that's one of the things that our next goal is after that, it's creating a hedge fund or creating a fund that serves to the people with $100,000 or less. And we show them how they can plan for a retirement, how they can be a part of the wealth building game, because the biggest wealth transfer is happening right now. People keep saying it's 5 years away, but it's happening right now. Right, we're seeing a lot of baby boomers passing stuff down, and those inheritance don't want those boring businesses. They just want the money. They want to be on Instagram. They want
their own vision.
They got their own vision. They want to do something else. And so I want to be able to teach us to say, yo, not only can we invest in the market, but we can also buy those businesses. We can get that equity. We can teach people how to build businesses and exit businesses, something that I'm learning. So that's my next vision. It's creating that fund where we have about $1 billion in assets under management, but it's all people with 100,000 or less to their network. And we help them increase their network in real time.
Amazing. So on this show, we talk about our dirty unicorns. So our biggest mistakes in business that we can all learn from. I'm curious what one of yours is.
So many. So many. I think one of the biggest ones that I can say is when hiring people. So people have this saying like not to hire family and all that. I kind of disagree with that because I have 3 family members on my squad that I had to pour into and build. But one of the things that I didn't do when I was hiring people in general was setting high expectations. And I would hire people, and I learned this from a friend of ours. And this was once I learned this, Michael Phillips, he told me this. He said, moving forward, when you hire someone, hire them for 90 days. And that was a big, big aha moment for me. Because you will hire somebody and people know how to say all the right things on applications and their representative can show up. But when I started hiring people for 90 days and having high expectations, it helped me get rid of everybody that didn't belong. And so I think that's one of the things that small, medium, large size business owners, small business owners for sure, because we kind of always just, we always in the bootstrap mode.
We are.
Right. Everything is a bootstrap moment. Everything is a make or break moment for us. So I think one of the key things is when you bring people on, make sure you set high expectations for them, but also give them 90 days to live up to it.
That's fair. Right? You got to go down the road.
You go down the road.
Bishop said, T.D. Jake said his biggest mistake was mistaking charisma for character.
He's so brilliant.
Yeah, I know. We live him. But isn't that, I mean, someone can be really flashy and great in an interview, right? But it takes a minute. It takes
a minute.
Going down the road and getting there. And I think you and I are similar that we love humans.
Oh,
we
for
believe in them. We want them to succeed. But you just, it just doesn't work sometimes.
That's what you give them 90 days.
Yeah, I like that. The 90-day rule.
You give them 90 days. I give you 90 days. I give you high expectations. So now you can't say what you don't know. Right. I didn't know this was, no. Here's the expectations, and this is only the floor. Right. And so that is so powerful for me. And it helped me start seeing early on, in 45 days, you probably not going to make it. Right. But now you got another 45 days to figure it out.
Right.
But if you don't,
then you're not stuck too.
Yeah. And that's what happens because that was the next part of it is it helps you figure the person out, but it also gives you a way to get unstuck. Every moment of a small business owner's life cycle is of vital importance.
It is.
Right? It is so vital because one bad hire sets you back at least 1 year. 1 year. That 1 year for a small business owner is a lifetime.
I feel like we small business owners live in a different time-space continuum because it's
everything is compounded.
Yes, it is.
Everything is.
Yeah, and costly mistakes are costly mistakes.
They cost.
Right? I mean, it's tough. In fact, I you mentioned something to me the other day. This is a crazy week because the Supreme Court is looking at tariffs.
Yep.
And I was listening to you and you were describing tariffs in such a different mindset. We just say it again, please.
So when it comes to just the stock market in general, I have to put it in terms and references that I can really relate to. So in the streets, if you, oh God, this is a family show. But in the streets.
Do I look like a family show? Look at this pink hair. Let's go.
I love you so much.
Come on.
So in the streets, if I want to hustle in somebody else's neighborhood, it's one or two things that has to happen. Either that person gives me a blessing to sell there and then I can sell there freely, or I have to pay what's called draft.
Okay.
Draft is a tariff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the price you pay to hustle in my neighborhood. You have to pay that to somebody. And the only difference is with tariffs, the price gets passed down to the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
When you hustle on a block, you can't always pass that price to the consumer because the price is the price.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to eat that. And so you got to be willing to say, okay, I'll give you this many points or percentages off each product until I hit a number. And so when I realized tariffs are just somebody paying draft to hustle in America, I said, oh, I got it.
You knew. I was so struck by that. I was like, okay, that is the first description that I truly heard was correct on this.
It's just the streets, as the streets are the darker side of capitalism.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but you learned so much and you pulled it into everything you're doing right now.
Because I realized that so you gotta think, like, if I can get up every day when I'm in the streets and risk my life and risk my freedom for a little bit of money, but I know the ultimate goal. I know how this ends. This ends with me being in prison. This ends with me going to jail. This ends with me being shot, which I've been shot 3 times. So you say, okay, if these same rules apply on the legit side, what happens there? Well, I can build an amazing business. I can impact a lot of people instead of destroying people. I can help a lot of families instead of destroying families. I can bring value to the marketplace, and I can set my family up. And I don't have to worry about prison. I don't have to worry about getting killed, and I don't have to worry about getting shot. I think I'll take this side. And so this side is so much better. I sleep well at night, so I get to bring value to people when I knew for a fact that I was hurting people. But, you kind of in that survival mode. So you kind of become callous to the darker side of it. Whereas over on this side, I find joy in certain. We didn't charge, for those 600 people that came to my event this weekend, we didn't charge them nothing. We did it for free. Just to have them in the building and be excited about it. You know what I'm saying? We sold them T-shirts.
Yeah. Well, I see the joy that comes out of you.
Yeah.
Well, you are a blessing, and we're glad you chose this. And thank you for coming on the Big Idea.
Yes. I love it here. Anytime.
So good. At the end of each episode, I like to give a shout out to a small business who is doing amazing work. Today, I'd like to shout out one of Leon's favorites, Prawleys. Prawleys is renowned for Creole and Southern comfort food. Oh my gosh, makes me so hungry. Make sure to check them out at eatprawleys.com. Thank you, Leon, for coming on the show, and thank all of you for joining us. We hoped you've learned a lot. This has been The Big Idea from Yahoo Finance. Please make sure to scan the QR code below to follow Yahoo Finance podcasts, or check us out on The Big Idea wherever you get your podcasts. You can also come say howdy to me at any of my social channels at Elizabeth Gore USA. I'm Elizabeth Gore, and as my grandma always said, hold your head up high and give them hell. See you next time.
This content was not intended to be financial advice and should not be used as a substitute for professional financial services.